In this video, we are going to continue with the binomial theorem. You will find this on page 86 in the Namibian AS-Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Let's look at another example. Find in ascending powers of x the first four terms in the expansion of this and this. Okay. Now, it's almost like they are giving, and I'm going to make it first bigger that you can see better. It's almost like you're going to do A, and when you do B, A is going to help you. That's basically what's going to happen, because it's both to the power of 9. Can you see that? Okay, but I'll show you now. So let's just find the first four terms. So it's 9, 0, 9, 1, 9, 2, 9, 3. I take the first term, and it's 9 minus 0, 9 minus 1, 9 minus 2, 9 minus 3. The second term, grab that sign, that's 0, then it's 1, 2, 3, and then I work it out. Okay, so if I work it out, this stay, the 1 to the power anything, just stay 1. So if I simplify negative 9, then I get positive 36x squared, and I get negative 84x to the power of 3. Okay. Now, when they ask you number B, you cannot work with three terms. You must make it a binomial. And we did it when we were using the Pascal's triangle. Now, you do it exactly like you did it there. I can just maybe, and I didn't plan to do this, so I have to go a little bit back. I want to just refer to an example. I just want to see, yes, it was this example. This example 40. So we're going to use that principle. Okay? Okay. So basically, we're going to first make it a binomial by taking negative, leave negative x out, and then please make sure if you divide by that sign change and becomes negative, really make sure that you change that sign because you were taking a negative out. It's actually just to say this divide, a positive divide by a negative is a negative. Okay, so you first make it a binomial. Then you're basically going to use this step. So because it's 1, and that is why it's helping you, otherwise it would not work, but because it's 1, you can use then this method. So you can work out the first four again and take that and square, but basically you are going to use this step, this final step. Do you see 1 minus 9 plus 36, let me show you where I'm focusing, plus 36 minus, so minus 9 plus 36 minus. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, in place of x, you already have your signs in, so don't worry about your signs. You're just going to, because if it's a negative, it will be positive, negative, positive, negative, so the signs is in. You will just, for the first one, this is the first one, it will be to the power 0. But for the second one, it's to the power 1. And for this one, there, you take that part, and you just square it. And for the fourth one, to the power 3. So it's to the power 1. It's first to the power 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. So you're using this answers to help you. You don't have to bring the signs in, the signs is already in. And then you basically just simplify that. You remember, this is going to be x squared. I showed you very nice in this step. And the bracket is squared. This is going to be x3, and the bracket is to the power of 3. And then you work it out. Just remember, if you have to work out, I prefer that you just do it here on the side. So just take your quadratic. It's like you will have 1 minus 2x, and you're going to multiply it with the quadratic. I just want to show you now nicely. So this is to the power of 3. So you have your 1, 2, and there's your quadratic now, after you multiply it out with the short method. Square the first term, multiply with each other, multiply 2. And then you multiply it out, and then you will get this. Okay, so just do it on the side and just bring it in if it's to the power of 3. Otherwise, you can use again your binomial theorem, but I think it's easier to just do it on the side. Then you multiply out, and you just make sure that you just count all the terms. So there's just x, and there is your x squares, okay, and then you get, and there's your x to the power of 3, and you add, and it's just the first 3. The first 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you have to do that to be able to get that 4 terms. Okay, so this method, what I want to emphasize, is where you use A to help you in B. Okay, you can do it without, but then it will just be a bit longer. Okay, I want you to stop the video, and I want you to try now 44, number A as well as number B. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay, so let's look at this one, number A. So this is going to be 1 minus 2x, and that's to the power of 10. Now, that's how I do it. Okay, so let's start. They say in ascending x, the first 4 terms. Now, remember, it's going to be 10, 0. Then the first term, and it's 10 minus 0, so it's 10. Then the second term, grab that sign, and then it's to the 0, plus. Then it's 10, 1. At the first term, 10 minus 1, it's 9. The second term, it's to the power of 1, plus. Then it's 10, 2. Then the first term, it's to the power, 10 minus 2 is 8. And then the second term, it's going to be to the power 2. And then the next one, 10, 3. Then the first term, it's going to be to the 10 minus 3, 7. And the second term is going to be 3. Okay. And then I just start working it out. Now, if I work it out, calculator, okay, for the first one, it's not necessary. That will just be 1. So this whole, can I show you here? Because this is 1, 1, 1, so this will just be 1. Okay, can keep it white first. Okay, now 10, 1, remember how I press it? I press 10, and then I press that NCR key, and then I press 1, and I think it's 10. It's 10. Then 1, it's just staying 1, and this is minus 2x. Plus, now again press that key, so it's 10 NCR 2 equals, now this is 45, I prefer to write it without a bracket. Okay, and then it's again that just 1, don't even have to write it, just be careful. And negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and x times x is x squared. Plus, okay, let's just move it, and then 10 NCR 3, it's 120, that stays again 1, and then if I do this one, it's negative 8x to the power of 3. So this is, now if I simplify, this is 1, this is going to be negative 20x, and then I'm going to say 45 times 4, that's 180, so it's plus 180 x squared, and then 120 times 8, and that's negative 960, let's just make it better, 960 x to the power of 3. Okay, and that was my first 4 terms. Okay, let's look at number B. Now, in number B, it looks like this. 1 minus 2x minus 4x, this is going correct, squared, and to the power 10. Now, there's 3 terms, but it must be a binomial. So I first make it a binomial by taking out a common factor. out of this last two terms. Now just be careful, it's a negative. So a negative times a negative is positive 1. But the negative divided the negative is positive 2x. So basically, did you see the sign change? So this is very important. Now, I'm going to use number A to help me in B. I will show you now at the end that you could have used the other method where you just, again, take this is your first term, this is your second term, and just work it out. You could have used that method also. But because I want to emphasize, but now, very, very, very important. You cannot use, because of the 2, you cannot use this step. This is very important. You're going to use this step. The 1, the 10, the 45, and the 120. Before you were working with the different terms. Okay, because here you already bring in that 2. And if you bring it, you're going to bring it double in. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to write, and let me show you. I'm going to write 1 plus 10. The signs is already in. Okay. Be careful, because the signs is not already in that one. So if I'm going to bring in the signs now. So this is going to be 10. Then I'm going to say, okay, for this one it was to the power 0. But for this one, it's going to be negative 2x, bring that term in, negative 2x, 1 plus 2x, and that is just to the power of 1. Okay. And then the 45. The 1 is all right, so it's going to be, okay, I can't even put it, it's negative, this negative 2x, 1 plus 2x, and that's going to be squared. I'm going to rather make it like this, and otherwise the lines might confuse you. And then plus 120, and again the negative 2x, 1 plus 2x, and now it's 3. Now, because I was not working with the final answers, I have to bring in my negatives. If I was working with the final and it was just 1, like in the example, in the workout example, it would have been, I could have worked with the last step, but not in this one. Okay, so let's just make that exponent better. That was to the power of 3. So basically, I just used the 1, the 10, the 45, and then the rest I'm going to work out. So this is going to be, so it's going to be negative, oh, I can already bring that sign in. So it's negative 20x, 1 plus 2x, that's just 1. Okay, now be careful. Before you bring in, it's 45, this is going to be negative 2x squared and 1 plus 2x squared. And then this is going to be 120, and this is going to be negative 2x 3 and 1 plus 2x 3. Okay, now let's multiply this out. So what do you get? 1 minus, I can multiply this out, so it's 20x minus 40x squared. Now this one, just be careful, this is squared, so let's first keep it. Then it's going to be 4x squared. If I multiply this out, remember it's squared, so I square the first one, I multiply the 2 with each other and with 2, so it's 4x plus 4x squared, close the bracket, plus the 120, this becomes negative 8 x to the power of 3. Okay, now if you multiply this out, remember, and I'm going to just do it, I'm going to do it here in the block. Do it on the side. Now the best to multiply this out, just remember that this, okay, I want to draw the red. If it's, just get my pen correct. If it is 1 plus 2x to 3. It's actually meaning it's 1 plus 2x and 1 plus 2x squared. Now, you already have 1 plus 2x squared. There you worked it out. So it's actually 1 plus 4x plus 4x squared. So if I multiply this out, this is going to be 1 plus 4x plus 4x squared plus 2x plus 8x squared plus 8x to the power 3. So it's going to be 1, 4x plus 2, 4x plus 2x, so it's plus 6x plus 12x squared plus 8x to the power of 3. So basically, I can just put in here 1 plus 6x plus 12x2 plus 8x to the power of 3. Okay. Now I'm going to just multiply it out. Minus 20x minus 40x squared. Okay, remember times 2 it's 90, times 4 will it then be 180. So it's good that you first do this and then do this. Then it's again multiplying out. It's a lot of concentration. Okay, and then 120 times 8 is just going to be that 960. But be careful, don't leave out that x free. And then it's 1 plus 6x plus 12x2 plus 8x3. Okay, so it's 1 minus 20x minus 40x squared plus 180x squared plus, now 180 times 4, it's 720, you see, x3, and then 180 times 4 is again, that's 720. Okay, then minus 960 x3, minus again, so it's 960 times that 6, so it's minus 5760. That will be x4, and I think it will become now too big. Do you see? It's x5, so you can just do this. You don't have to, because you want just the first 4 terms. So this is the first, this is the second, this one is a square, so you want still this one, and I think up to this one. This is a x3. 4s you can leave out. So it's just going to be 1 minus 20x minus plus 140 x squared, and then 720 minus 960, and it's minus 240 x to the power 3, and plus because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Wow, you could have used A, but if you, and I'm just mentioning it in this video, if you think you're going to get confused, must I use this step, must I use this step, then you could have do it also like this, and I'm going to show you in from there on. You could have, and I'm going to just show you. Okay, you could have also just said, okay, this is my first term, so it's 10, 0. I take my first, and it's to 10, because 10 minus 0, and I take my second, actually what we did, and it's just to the power of 0 first. And then for the second, 10, 1, and then it's 1 to 9, and then it's this one, to 1, because it's that one. And then it's 10 to, and it's 1 to 8, and it's this one to 2. And then it's 10, 3 for my fourth term. And then it's this one and it's to the power of 3. So then just remember, this must be 1, 1. This must be 2. Okay, there's a bracket. 2. This must be 3, 3. Sometimes I think it's better, because it becomes so long, to just write all your rows down and then see if you can just add your like terms. Okay, so I just mentioned it, that if you struggle to see where to use it in A, then just go to do it like that, like we did it with Pascal's triangle, and then you will also be able to get the answers.